Well, good Monday morning to you. Welcome to our Monday morning live edition of the Doctor's Nutrition Show. I'm your host, Jim Tabor, along with Drs. Jim and Janine Fox of Doctor's Nutrition, located on Callan Lorraine Road in Gulfport, just south of Pass Road. Now, we do this every Monday morning. If you're just tuning in for the first time, it is a live call-in show in which we have picked a topic and we'll talk about things regarding that topic, and then we invite you to call in and ask any questions regarding that topic, or if you have a question about anything regarding your health, because that's what this show is all about, helping you live a healthier lifestyle. Our phone lines are open at 896-0713 or 1-800-349-0713. You can give us a call at your convenience. So this morning we're actually kind of a continuation of what we talked about last week. We started talking about cancer, and this is being Breast Cancer Awareness Month. But we're talking this morning about different things along that line. What lifestyle changes can you make for cancer prevention?
I think one of the chief lifestyle changes that you need to make is just being aware. I know that sounds kind of vague, and it is, okay? But if you're aware of what you put in your body, what you put on your body, what you drink, what you eat, what's in those foods, what's in that water, what's in that drink you're drinking, whatever, just being aware and knowing that there are a lot of chemicals in our environment nowadays that are cancer causing.
Right,
I mean,
I'm sure you've all seen the commercials.
Oh yeah.
After they prove that something causes cancer, then you have all the commercials saying if you've got this cancer and you were exposed to this chemical, please call.
Call this law firm.
Yes, exactly. So y'all, everybody is seeing the commercials.
This is not a lawsuit against your company.
No.
So
right,
it's not just us saying it.
No,
I mean, if you look at it over the years, they keep finding more and more things that people are using that are causing cancer.
Yeah.
And I always tell people that come in, if you are using a product that says to use a respirator and gloves, then you probably want to use a respirator and gloves if you use that product, or
Good
stay
idea.
away from it. But people don't listen to the warnings, and a lot of times they're warnings for a reason because they have been shown to be cancer causing.
Exactly.
So many chemicals have been proven to be cancer causing agent. And people don't listen to the warnings or don't pay attention to it or don't read it or something.
Yeah.
So we do tell people that is a lifestyle change you can make, is, like he said, be aware of what you're using. And it's not just, chemicals, but shampoos, body, stuff you put on your body, lotions, cleaning supplies.
Anything that you can inhale.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What was the Roundup for a while there? I mean,
Well,
Not for a while. That's a big one.
It's been going on for a long time. Yeah, Roundup, the glyphosate, which is, oh my God, there's, and of course there's lawsuits just kind of cropping up everywhere for glyphosate. And call this law firm if you've ever been around it or anything. And you, even if you use
everybody's
it on the law,
around it.
And people, you see them, you go to Home Depot or Lowe's, somewhere like that, they're buying that stuff, and probably not, and you should wear a respirator. You should wear gloves if you use it, because
And you should not spray it on the food that you're growing.
No. Or even around it.
Yeah, exactly, which is why it's kind of used.
You remember years ago, the big thing was acid rain. Oh, acid rain's going to destroy the earth. Haven't heard much about that lately, have you?
No.
Well, it's because acid rain never really kind of materialized like that. Okay, but now what you're hearing about is what we call glyphosate rain. Okay, what's that? Well, Roundup rain. Okay, they're spraying all this stuff out in, say, Kansas or somewhere in Nebraska, and it gets into the environment, gets up into the clouds. The next thing you know, we have rain that's got glyphosate in it. They're even finding traces of it in organic foods.
Yeah, because of the rainwater.
Because of the rainwater.
Because there's so much of it in the environment that, but that'd be a totally different show. So we need to, but anyway.
One of the things too about talking about foods is farmers, they use different stuff, like we used to use malathion. Malathion to put on to keep the bugs from getting on it.
Oh yeah.
So
bug can't get near it.
No, but
humans shouldn't.
You shouldn't
either. So if you do grow food or grow organically, and it is harder to do, no doubt. That's why it costs a little bit more in the grocery stores when you buy it. But it is a good idea to do. Now, other lifestyle changes, most people know these, and they're not necessarily changes people probably know. They don't necessarily do it, but they know. Sugar is horrible for the immune system and horrible for cancer. So definitely decrease your sugar, get off of packaged processed foods, keep your weight down. there's no doubt they have shown obesity is linked with cancer. And not to say that everybody that gets cancer is obese, because that is not true. You can be skinny as a rail and get cancer, but that is one of the risk factors. And of course, smoking. Talk about chemicals. Smoking don't just have the tobacco in it anymore. It has tons of chemicals added to it. And so smoking, of course, big risk factor in cancer. So everybody knows mostly.
Smokeless tobacco.
Yeah, most people know that. Of course, get your exercise. Don't, do nothing. So people know those. The big thing we wanted to stress was the toxins. I mean, toxins are just that. They're toxic. And toxins actually increase chances of cancer. Now, another lifestyle, and it's not really a lifestyle change, it's really if you have this problem, you've got to do something for it, and that is constipation. If you are constipated, they have definitely shown, tons of research has shown, it increases risk for cancers, especially colon and breast are a lot of the ones I've seen. I think it probably could contribute to any of them because of the toxins that stay in your body. If you're not eliminating, you're going to get toxic.
And that's why we talk about drinking more water.
Right.
The more water you drink, the more you get rid of, and a lot of the toxins either go out through the urine, or they're going to go out through the feces. And so if you're constipated and you don't drink enough water, you're just holding all those chemicals in there, and your body's pretty good at recycling those things. If something's in your gut and you don't eliminate it pretty fast, the body tends to kind of recycle it, pull it back in, because it's trying to get nutrients out of the stuff that's there. And then all of a sudden now we're recycling this stuff, and bingo, we're having
toxins.
to deal with it again. More toxins. And they just keep increasing.
So going to the bathroom is very important, and if you're not going regularly, then you want to do something to go regularly. I mean, there are definitely, magnesium is actually just a safe, it's deficient in most people, it is very good at helping constipation. It is not always the key, because sometimes it's actually an underlying problem like a thyroid problem that actually makes you constipated. So you got to figure out what's causing it and then get rid of the constipation, because that is a big risk factor.
On that same constipation thing, I saw recently where there's a shortage of polyethylene glycol. That's what's used in a lot of your laxatives.
Yeah.
PEG 40 and so on, polyethylene glycol. So, rather than use polyethylene glycol, there's other things like magnesium, eating a lot of high fiber foods.
There's trifala, there's making sure you get fiber, there's probiotics. There's a lot of things you can do to keep going regularly, and that is very, very important.
All right, it's 8 minutes after 9 o'clock, 896-0713 or 800-349-0713. Our phone lines are open to you if you have any questions regarding this morning's subject. Give us a call. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. And welcome back to our Monday morning live edition of the Doctor's Nutrition Show. It's 10 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're talking about cancer and things that what vitamins and supplements can actually do for it. What kills cancer cells in the body naturally?
Your immune system.
Yeah, there's a bad guy called the NK, natural killer cell. He's part of the T cell, part of the thymus group, and he's very, very robust. If your immune system's working properly, and that's the key, then that's the number one guy. He sees something he don't like, he kills it. He's blatant with it, but we got to have more of him.
But so many people have a suppressed immune system because of their lifestyle, because of things going on, because of the toxins. So that's why it's very important to keep your immune system up. Very.
Yeah.
Are there any cancer-fighting foods? Because we talk about foods and how important it is eating well.
Yes.
So what kind of cancer-fighting foods are there?
Your brightly colored vegetables and fruits are probably the one thing that you think about all the time. Like your blueberries. Strawberries, make sure they're organic, but those are what you want. And things like peppers and so on. Again, try to do organic as much as possible. But those are those bright vegetables and fruits are probably one of the better things.
And another food is mushrooms.
Yeah.
The mushroom supplements have definitely been shown to help with prevention of cancer. We'll talk about those in a minute. But eating mushrooms, they've actually found even those little white button mushrooms, eating them often actually also helps the immune system.
Yeah, everybody always thinks, you got to eat the big shiitakes and so on. Yeah, and they're good.
Those are good.
They're wrong. But at the same time, you can eat some, even the little white button mushrooms. Put them, in, chop them up and put them in everything. You know, we put them in
put them in
soup.
salads.
We put them, salads,
I made chicken soup this
soups.
weekend, and I have mushrooms in it.
It's mushroom chicken.
When I do
It's
my
mushroom chicken soup. He said, I said, well, I had some that was going to go bad if I didn't use them, so there's lots of
So
them.
there's a lot of mushrooms.
When I do my Mississippi pot roast, I always put mushrooms.
Oh
in it,
yeah,
too.
yeah. Well, mushroom, and it's so good. You know, they're good, and we know that even a little, something as simple as that little white mushroom, he does a lot of good for the immune system. Some of the what we call the polysaccharides, which are types of sugars that are naturally occurring in these guys, and they actually trigger things like that NK cell, that natural killer cell. Yeah. So it's really important to have that. Our diet really can make that immune system work that much better. It really can.
Okay. Can vitamins and supplements actually prevent cancer?
You know, that's a controversial thing, but yes, I think they can. There's kind of overwhelming evidence in a lot of these things. For instance, you took a look up something like resveratrol. We've talked about resveratrol before. Resveratrol is something like 2,500. If you go to PubMed and type in resveratrol, you're going to get like 2,500 or more hits, which means that's research articles that have been actually published showing the benefits and so on and so forth of resveratrol. And a lot of that 2,500 plus
is about cancer.
Shows about cancer. Probably the majority of it's about it.
There's a lot being researched, and there's a lot more that should be researched, but money is the problem with supplement research because you don't have the big companies backing it. Yes, exactly. So that's one reason you don't see more, but I definitely think it's a way to prevent. You know, I mean, the thing is you always want prevention, like we say every time we talk about anything. You would rather prevent something than try to treat it afterwards. It's always harder. So there is so much. Now, there's even, when you talk about, supplements that kind of help, and we talked about mushrooms, there's actually clinical trials going on at a lot of the big cancer centers on some things, like AHCC, which is active hexose correlated compound. It is from a mushroom, but it actually has been shown to get rid of HPV, which is the human papillomavirus, in 60% of the people that take the high doses over a certain 6-month period. And if you get rid of HPV, in turn, you prevent cervical cancer, throat cancer, mouth cancer, things like that, because that's the virus that causes those cancers. So that's what you got to look at is when you start looking at things. I mean, there's a lot of research out there, and there's even clinical trials going on out there about things for, prevention. And another big one that has so much on it is vitamin D. And we talk about vitamin D a lot.
Yeah.
And we do.
And D is on our panels, which we always recommend. That's one of the first steps you should do. Do a panel. Fix what you see there first. I mean, if you see something there, if you have low vitamin D, they've even shown B vitamins to be important in cancer prevention. You don't think about them for that. You think of them for energy. You think of them for blood. You think of, but there is things that can go wrong if you actually have too little B vitamins. So do the panel, see what's going on, fix underlying problems. Like we said, if your thyroid isn't right, your immune system's not going to be as good. If your cortisol is too high, your immune system is not going to be too good. So all these underlying things affect the immune system, and the immune system is what, in the long run, can actually get rid of the cancer.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest problems we have in medicine today, and I'll say this, just pretty straight up with you, one of the biggest problems we have is compartmentalization. Well, this guy works on the thyroid, this guy works on your liver, this guy works on your kidneys. It's all in your body, and they are all interconnected. They do not separate. You can't just go in there and say, okay, we're going to take out the liver. The liver, I mean, you look at what the liver's involved in. Oh my God!
That's another big thing for cancer prevention is keeping detoxified.
Yeah,
and your liver is your biggest detoxifying organ.
Yeah.
So
I think you mentioned recently that you should be detoxing every day.
Every day.
Every
day.
day.
Well, because we're being exposed every day. I mean, it's like when you say, "Well, I don't do that." Yeah, they do. I mean, if you're exposed, if you're living and breathing, drinking water and one thing else, you're being exposed. Yeah.
Wow.
No doubt.
16 minutes after 9 o'clock, our phone lines are open at 896-0713 or 800-349-0713. Caller with a question, what helps stage 4 cancer?
I mean, that's such a wide question. You can't really answer a question that is that wide.
No.
I have had people that have had stage 4 cancer, and the doctor that they went to actually told them you need to get real healthy real quick.
Yeah,
So,
we've actually heard that.
you know, we do. We've had people that's what they tell them.
Yeah.
You need to get real healthy real quick. So you got to get serious.
Yeah.
Because
And depending on what kind of cancer it is.
It depends on what kind of cancer it is. It depends. That's a huge question. So you might want to come by and talk to us. And we never say that anything is proven to cure cancer, because even a lot of the stuff out there that's used medically does not always kill cancer. So that's a hard question, but get healthy real quick is a big one.
That's a biggie.
Yep.
Wow. All right. 896-0713 or 800-349-0713. Our phone lines are open. We're talking about cancer and everything. And of course, kind of a footnote, sad to hear about Suzanne Summers.
Yes.
Passed away yesterday.
She
after
said
a
breast
long battle with
cancer.
breast
Yep.
cancer,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I saw that last night.
She has stayed healthy for.
She would have been. She passed away.
She'd have been 77.
She'd have been 77 today.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I
She
did not
passed
know
it.
that.
She actually did my show, Shop South Mississippi,
Okay.
several years ago.
Yep.
Yeah, whole half hour of it. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back with this week's special. And welcome back. It's 20 minutes after 9 o'clock here on this Monday morning. We're talking about supplements and vitamins and how they work with cancer. Let's go ahead and show you what this week's special is.
Yeah, this week's special is DIM, which is diindole methane. And what it's used for, it definitely has a lot of good research on prevention for breast cancer, ovarian cancer, prostate cancer, hormonal cancers. That's kind of what the majority of the stuff is. We've used it for years, not just for prevention of cancer. We've used it for hormonal problems. So it can actually help with polycystic ovarian syndrome. It helps women go through menopause easier. It helps with hormonal hair loss, hormonal weight gain. It helps just straighten out hormones. And it actually helps with over estrogen, which a lot of times feeds some of these cancers. Now, even estrogen can affect the prostate in prostate cancer, but it's been used in men as well, because a lot of bodybuilders use DIM to actually free testosterone to actually help build muscle better. So DIM is one of our biggest sellers anyway, and it's not because everybody has cancer, it's because it's just one of those things that helps hormonal balance. That's why we decided to put it on sale, because so many people could take advantage of the sale, because it's good for men, women, and a lot of different problems. We also use it for hormonal acne. So we've used it for, acne if it's hormonal. So it definitely helps with hormones.
Yeah, it does.
Yep, so.
Okay.
Yep.
Is mushroom coffee a fad, or does it?
Yeah. Well, I think it works.
Or does it improve your immune system?
I think so.
Yeah.
Now, there's not a lot of research on it yet, and it is kind of I hate to use the word fad.
I mean, it is a fad, but it probably can do some good.
Yeah.
I mean, it really can.
Yeah, it really
like we said, even eating mushrooms is beneficial, so putting mushroom powder in your coffee. Now, one of the things when it comes to really boosting things specifically, the standardized extracts are what's actually researched.
Right.
When you look at research, you don't look at just a ground up mushroom. They don't. They look at an extract, which is a specific chemical at a specific dose. So you do want to use higher doses if you're really trying to do certain things. But just overall health, yes, it's beneficial to do. So I think there's another question.
What helps prevent prostate cancer?
Prostate cancer has a few things. DIM that we just mentioned,
Yeah.
but there's also sulforaphane or sulforaphane. People say it different ways. I'm not sure which way you pronounce it.
Chemically, they're called raphanes.
Okay,
But
so it's
everybody
probably
calls it sulforaphane. So
who knows? But anyway, that one is actually really good. There's a lot of good research on vitamin E, selenium. I mean, there is pomegranate extract. I mean, lycopenes. When you start looking, there's been so much done on prostate cancer, because
Really
it's a
has.
very common cancer. And so there are so many things that you can do. So if you come in our store, we'll show you different things, but that is one of them.
Yeah.
Now, just supplements in general that would help a lot of the different cancers.
I was going to ask you which supplement is recommended for cancer prevention.
Well, honestly, some of the big ones. He mentioned resveratrol earlier. Now, resveratrol is a biggie. So we always use that. Also, curcumins, which is from turmeric, huge. That's another one that when you go search, there are so many research papers written on that. Green tea, so much on green tea, especially for colon cancer. There's a lot on the gastric cancers in green tea. We have a product called polyresveratrol that actually has the the resveratrol, the curcumin, the green tea, the quercetin, and I never can pronounce this either, cytostilbene. I mean, it's actually a real hard one to say too. But it is all in liposomal forms, and it's all in one product. So it's when people come in and want a great antioxidant that's just kind of a cancer preventative, that's one of the things that I'll use a lot of times. But we have all the other ones we mentioned individual. We have high strength resveratrol, where you just take one pill a day. We have the liposomal curcumins. We have the green tea max, which is really high in the active ingredient that is always what's researched.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yep.
The green tea, and like I say, green tea is not only that, it does so many things. Like it helps lower the oxidized LDL fraction, so it's good for your cholesterol. Doesn't lower cholesterol, but it helps reduce the oxidative stress levels.
So it's good for other things. Those things I just mentioned are good for other things too, because they're great antioxidants. Now, a few other supplements that one of the ones that has a lot of good research for skin cancer prevention is niacinamide.
Yes,
I mean, we even have a lot of the dermatologists that will send people in to get that one, because the research is pretty good on saying if you take 1,000 milligrams a day, which is very low cost, it definitely helps prevention. And we keep talking prevention. We're not talking about curing. We're talking about prevention of skin cancer. So there is so many things out there that have been shown. And I mean, half the stuff in our store has some research on it. Yeah, for that.
Does GOLO increase chances for weight loss in older people, and what can help with losing weight?
You know, I really, if you walk in the store and ask me, so what have you got to help me lose weight? I'm going to say, a little sheet of paper over here tells you what to eat first.
Right.
And if you don't start there, I don't care what you take. I've got all kind of stuff that'll help, you know, and the GOLO is one that a lot of people talk about taking. And I think one of the problems we get into that is the dependence on, if I don't take this, I'm not going to lose weight. It's what you ate. In other words, here's something I've had to say this to so many people over the years. You ate your way into this, you're going to have to eat your way out of it. And they look at me like, huh?
And GOLO is geared towards insulin resistance.
Right.
And there is no doubt that insulin resistance causes a problem. Now, we have two products that are also geared and I think stronger than the GOLO, but are they miracle weight loss? No, not if you don't change your diet. And that is GSF and berberine max.
Right.
But you have to change your diet, and when you buy GOLO, and they tell you have to change your diet too. So the diet change is number one. And if you're not going to change your diet, there's not a magic pill.
Yeah, don't waste your money on anything.
Yeah, so there's not a magic pill.
Don't waste your money.
But all the things that we use that help insulin resistance also helps blood sugar control. So you definitely want to control your sugar, because when your sugar's out of control, it increases cancer risk, no doubt.
Yep.
Diabetes is one of the big cancer risks, because I do believe that sugar feeds cancer.
Oh yeah, we've seen too many.
And I've seen too many over the years that when they cut the sugar out, it does make a big difference. So you need to be doing that anyway for health and cancer prevention. And at the same time, if you really truly do that, you will lose weight.
All right. Another question real quick. What helps with kidney disease?
That again, that's a whole show, but
it is really.
Our go-to is benfotiamine.
Yeah.
And we do have a few other products, Kidney Correct, Renogen, things like that. So we do have a few things, but if you come by the store and give us a call, we'll talk more in depth about it.
And it depends on what that kidney problem is.
And it depends on what your problem is, exactly.
And of course, the best way to find out with that is to get some blood work done.
Yep. Exactly.
Probably already have it if they know they got kidney disease.
Because kidney disease is a lot of times caused by diabetes. And so if that's what's doing it, you've got to control the diabetes, or you're never going to help the kidney disease.
Next week.
Next week, we've been talking about how important the immune system is. So next week, we're going to talk about autoimmune, what happens when the body turns on itself. That's what autoimmune is.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk about what happens when that happens and what you can do about it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us with this morning's show. It's 27 after 9 o'clock, and you can find a lot more information, of course, on doctorsnutrition.com, as well as on their Facebook page. And we will see you again next Monday morning live here at 9 o'clock on WLOX CBS. Hope you have yourself a wonderful week.
For more information on highlighting your business and services on Healthy Living South Mississippi, contact Jim Tabor at 896-1313.